want to tell you that your support on Patreon means everything to me. I've been making free content for the better part of 2 decades. My first was Knock at the Door. It was a little film with big heart, and I made that film just for a handful of artists while I was their agent and their representative through Doorway Gallery. I posted it as kind of a little love letter of encouragement to them, and before we knew it, it had circled the globe, and it circled the globe again, and it eventually got seen by 4 million, by now it's closer to 5 million people, in a word of mouth campaign before YouTube. When I started getting letters about people who had picked up their pens and paints again after years and started writing or started painting, when I got the letters from people in hospitals who felt enlivened and whole and connected even though their bodies were breaking down, when I got an email from a woman who decided to track down her estranged mother and make amends with her, I'll never forget the day that a young woman, clearly a 20-something, walked up to me at Comic-Con, at our booth in Comic-Con, where we were showing our artists' art. We were exhibiting our artists' wares. My assistant, Kim, who was in the booth with me, said, "Angie, there's a woman over here you have to meet." And I wondered why Kim had tears in her eyes, and so I walked over, and this girl hugged me fiercely and then told me that she had been working her first job out of college in a gray cubicle where she was bored and depressed and underwhelmed. And as the days went on, her world got as gray as that cubicle. But after watching Knock at the Door, she decided that she was going to take a leap. And she quit that job. And she went after her dream job at an animation studio and got it. And she hugged me again after the story was done, tears in her eyes now, tears in mine, and said, "I owe my joy to you." And I knew right there, and I knew right then, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So as the years went on, I had this job as a gallery and an agent, and that switched to me being the artist and creating art for publishers. And I also took on some side gigs, some side hustle to make money so that I could afford to make these passion projects. I call them the Muse's passion projects because I do these projects in her name. I do them because the Muse tells me to, and I am her messenger. I needed to stay employed, and I needed to keep up the hustle, and sometimes I needed to go without insurance so that I could afford to follow this vision and make this content. And most of it, the overwhelming majority of it, was always free. Because when my creation, what I hear from her, meets your life and it makes a difference, it makes a change, it helps inspire you, whether it's in the moment or for a lifetime, to go after your own bliss, to follow it, to listen to your whoosh, to create according to your true talent and potential and not what they tell you that you're worth or capable of doing, that to me is everything. That is what I mean by everything. That connection through inspiration for you to live your best life. And that connection helps me live my best life. That is everything. Why change now? It took a recent cancer scare to make me realize that I have so many stories to share with you. I have magical, empowering, enlightening, enlivening stories to share with you. And I just cringe at the thought of dying with those still in my backpack, my soul's backpack. I want you to have these stories, and I want them to inspire your life. So it's time for me to go into full-time creation. Then there are the big scale projects like the show Angie and the Wonder Hunters. And if I haven't told you this story already, I've had a couple of Hollywood agents and a producer from a large scale production company in Hollywood approach me about giving me my own show. Most all of them were about a reality show. Obviously, that's kind of what I do anyway, right? And all of these people approached me after seeing me either at a reading or I was performing. There was even a gal from Silicon Valley who wanted me to have my own paid YouTube channel, subscription YouTube channel. And that was the most tempting because it had the least amount of controls, but every single one of them, every single one of these opportunities, none of them clicked 100%. I was too concerned, and I had been gifted by watching Amanda Palmer revolutionize the world with crowdfunding back in 2011. And it was watching her have the power and the audacity to go outside the system and create a new system where she could directly communicate with her fans and end up creating amazing content because of the fans. That always just held such a special place in my heart. In fact, if there was a whoosh involved with any of these larger opportunities, the whoosh was through watching Amanda. So here we are. This Patreon thing, it has the chance to not only revolutionize my life, but by getting the work out in the world, just like with Knock at the Door, I made it for 18 people. It's been seen by almost 5 million now, 17 years later. It starts with me, and it starts with you, and it starts with us connecting over inspiration and practical magic. But imagine the possibilities as your world changes, as my world changes, and as I put out more breadcrumbs of magic for other souls to follow. Imagine the difference that we can make together. In the name of the Muse, I'm honored and delighted and committed as fuck. Thank you for everything and the chance to show together that impossible things happen every day and once upon a time really is here and now.